Hi everyone, my name is Miss Davis, and I'm here today to talk to you about pointillism. Hi everyone, today we're going to be talking about pointillism. Pointillism involves building up successive layers of dots that are blended by the human eye into one color. This is also known as optical mixing. George Seurat lived from 1859 to 1891 and was a post-impressionistic painter. He was famous for developing this specific painting style, later to be known as pointillism. This method of painting was ridiculed by critics at the time. Here we can see one of his most well-known paintings, La Grangette. Pointillism is very labor and time intensive. This painting took over 2 years to complete. Pointillism can be done with any medium: paint, crayons, oil pastels, etc. Today we'll be learning about how to use markers to create pointillism artwork. That way we can create our artwork more easily and more quickly. This is a piece of art that I created using Sharpie marker and paper. I created an image of this girl blowing dandelion fluffs and they're turning into birds. So when we're creating pointillism artwork, we want to think about value. So you can create value changes from dark to light, basically by drawing more dots or less dots. So you can see at the top, there are a lot of dots closely spaced together, and it appears much more dark. In the middle, there is about a moderate space in between each dot, and then at the bottom, there's a lot of space in between each dot, leaving a lot of white space. So you can see you can create nice gradations from dark to light. Today I'm going to be walking you through drawing an image of a hand with a flower in the center. And so I'm just using my sketchbook, and I also have a pencil and some Sharpie markers. If you don't have Sharpie markers, you can just use any type of marker. I have 2 different sizes, but you can play around with whatever materials you have at home. You can use ones that have color, you can use colored markers, you can use colored pencils, whatever you want. So first I'm going to start by putting my hand onto the paper, and then I'm going to be just carefully tracing around my hand. Then in the center of my hand, I'm going to be drawing a flower, but you can draw whatever you would like. If you don't want to draw a flower, you could draw some other botanical inspiration like a leaf. I encourage you to be creative and do whatever you feel. So I'm just drawing a circle and then some concentric petals coming out from there. And making sure that it is pretty even. And I'm pretty happy with that. So now I am going to be drawing dots along the outline of my hand. And this is just to give my hand a nice outline, because eventually what I'd like to do is create a nice gradation around my hand, so it'll be pretty dark around my hand, and then as it goes away from my hand, it'll become lighter. And we're going to be doing that by controlling the value. And if you remember correctly, we do that by making dots that are closely spaced together to create the darks, and then the lights are going to be more far apart. So now that I have this nice outline, I am also going to be starting to put the darks near the hand and planning to gradate out to light. So you can start in some areas like this and just space your dots really close together. What's nice about pointillism is that basically you're just creating the image one dot at a time. So if you mess up, it's just a dot and it's not really a big deal. So I kind of like how dark that is. Maybe I'll make it a little bit darker. You can always come back in later. And then you can always kind of plan plan your gradation ahead of time by putting some dots out here. And then kind of bring them into here and then keep building up the value by adding more dots. And if you would like to instead create dots on the inside of your hand and just fill the inside of the hand and bring the gradation from dark to light near the flower, that's totally fine with me too. That sounds great. Please use your imagination. And then for the flower, I think I want the petals, the tips of the petals to be dark. And near the center of the petal, it's going to be light. Now if you had two different size Sharpies, this could be a good time to get out your fine point Sharpie and try that out. But just so you know, of course, you already thought of this already, I'm sure. The smaller the dot, the longer it's going to take you to finish. Okay, so have fun. And I encourage you to put on some music and just relax and dot away. So now that I'm finished with my piece, you can go in and just erase any pencil lines that might be there. And then you're finished. Thanks for joining me.